All right, what's up, No Bunk fam? People like to think of us as like a package deal. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of snow in the south. At San Antonio, we got like 1/10 of an inch, and that shut the city down. No flights. Could not make it over to Orlando for the PGA Show, which is a bummer because it was a highlight of my year last year. Fortunately, that's why God made two of us. So JJ just running around Orlando, the convention center, unsupervised, out there living. JJ, I gotta ask, how was the PGA Show?
Matt, in one word, it was beautiful. It was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. First of all, just to see so many people coming together for the game. The crowd was more diverse than I thought it was going to be. And you also get the opportunity, you told me about this, you get the opportunity to see the people that you talked throughout the entire year actually in person. So there were some people I've had years-long conversations with that I finally met in person. So that was a pretty cool experience.
You know, putting a name to a face, getting to shake a hand, you know, it's something we talk a lot about, right? The whole point of this is to get people out playing. Golf has, I think, been under a lot of pressure lately to think about becoming more inclusive, whether it's for the survival of the game itself, the fact that people just have different needs, different appetites, different format desires, right? Lack of time. Did you see a golf industry that is aware of this, that's trying to make meaningful strides in that direction, whether it's apparel or equipment, trying to make the game easier to play? You know, talk a little bit about what you saw in terms of maybe changes from what you'd expect from traditional golf folks.
It's interesting. Now that I think about it, the advertisements were a lot more multicultural. On the big billboards, in some of the booths that people had, you could see that there was a diverse, or at least more diverse representation. I would say, at least from my vantage point, it was still overwhelmingly male, but there was still a pretty strong female presence at the convention. And a lot of what I would consider, or what I observed or assumed, were females in leadership positions with brands or with the PGA, helping to organize and be strategic about the event. So that was cool to see. And at least with the brands that I spoke with and talked to, there was this continued desire to grow the game, to make it more accessible from a financial standpoint, but also just in terms of a compassion and empathy standpoint as well.
I love that. You know, No Bunk would be nowhere if it weren't for some of the female-focused brands who used us as a platform early on to get their voice out, and it's cool to see some of them really starting to thrive and grow and build. And so, listen, hats off to it, right? There's more than enough room for everybody to eat when you think about the amount of money spent on golf in general. One thing that I found was you just had a group of people when I went last year. They love the fun of the game of golf, right? Like they're like irrepressible in that way. How was it to feel the vibe walking the exhibit hall?
I definitely wanted to play golf. Walking around the PGA Show exhibit hall, it made me want to play golf. I was able to get in on a few of the indoor sim demos over there. But for the people that I connected with, I just could picture myself playing golf with them. I could picture myself going on a round, 9 or 18, in the cart, walking, whatever it was, just having a damn good time. And that's the vibe that we've aspired to with No Bunk. But that's also been the vibe that lately I've experienced in this golf space and in this golf community, where people are excited about playing with people they know and also strangers like me. And that was something that was really beautiful and something that I really enjoyed. But yes, I got back to Boston and the first thought on my calendar was, okay, where can I put some sim time in? And where can I, and when can I connect with some of the people that I love to play golf with in New England?
You know, it's interesting. It seems like there's a lot less gatekeeping of the game these days, whether it's wardrobe or, you know, how you got to the game. You didn't grow up playing it as a kid, whatever. Did you feel that vibe as you're walking through? That feel like that more openness? Because I got to be honest, I didn't expect it walking in. I expected a much more traditional, for any of us who are like going to sales conferences or normal conferences along the way, it feels very buttoned up. It just felt a lot looser and chiller, and I love that vibe for it. I hope that was also true this year.
It's like that whole thing on the internet, if you know, you know. So there was definitely that button-up vibe, but for the people who knew about us, about me, or the people I knew about them, the vibe was definitely different, and it was one of openness, passion, enthusiasm, good laughs, good jokes, and just hugs. That ability to hug somebody, feel seen, feel heard, feel appreciated was one of the lasting memories that I'll have from those few days that I was there. And then also that being the driving force for whatever next steps I take as a golfer, whatever next steps you and I take as, the stewards of No Bunk, really trying to replicate what that feeling feels like when you're in a space where you can be yourself, but also feel the love and compassion from other people as well.
Jay, I work in education. You're a clinical psychologist by your own background, so this should be a pretty familiar game. Glows and grows. You could highlight one glow and one grow from your experience. I'd love to hear it.
It's kind of like that movie Man on Fire with Denzel Washington, where he says, "I wish you had more time." Yeah. So I think one of the things that I wish I would have been able to do was just meet more people. But I'll admit I was tired the week before. My son was sick, my wife was sick. So I was entering the event a little bit fatigued. I definitely got energized by all the other people, but being able to have done more the first day of the event would have been something that I would change. In terms of the glow, I met my idol. I got to speak with Doc Gary Sales, and he said he only had 15 minutes, but we ended up talking for probably an hour about a project that I'm working on, and just hearing him talk. And while we were talking at the table, all these other people started slowly creeping around because they realized we were talking about the mental game of golf. And it turned into this really small but beautiful impromptu mental skill session for the people who were at our table, just minding their business and eating their lunch, but they were engaging with us. And I got a picture with them. So that was a beautiful thing. And again, I'm very appreciative of everybody I met that weekend, but I was going after Doc, and I got Doc, and that was a very beautiful thing for me.
I love that. I was watching an old 80s movie, The Secret of My Success, with Michael J. Fox, and there's a fun scene where he's spitting on investment, thesis, and you're seeing all these hedge fund guys and everyone come together. I imagine that with the hero and the protege, between the two of you, you all drop some knowledge. As Mr. Obel once said, you drop a little knowledge on the people. That's awesome. I do agree with you on the glow. I think that the exhibit hall was an overwhelming experience. You really have to have that well planned as you go through, but sometimes it's cool to feel that infectious energy, and sometimes you wish there were just more spots, more time to be able to just get into it, because there's so many cool people who are there. What do you think we as No Bunk can learn from this experience and hopefully bring into our own experiences and our events, etc.? What's got your head moving in some directions of how we can improve our own practice based on what you saw?
I think just bringing that enthusiasm. I want to see the smiles and the laughs and the hugs, like I said, that I got at the PGA Show. I want to bring that to every event that we host and every activity that we're affiliated with. So I think that's one. Two, I think the beautiful thing that we saw was just how much growth we've accomplished over the past year or two. And then also the brands that we've partnered with and the brands that we know and the founders that we know, just seeing them continue to kind of graduate and level up and continue to grow and become true forces in the industry, which has been really, really beautiful. So I think the brands that I met and our friends have set a high standard. And I know you and I are ready to meet that standard and surpass that standard. So there is a little chip on my shoulder in terms of making sure that when people come up to me and they talk about, and come up to you and talk about how great No Bunk is and has been, we want it to continue to be great and find ways to iterate and have it be better and have it be the best possible solution for people looking to meld wellness and golf together in their life.
Love that. I love that. I think it makes a huge difference when you can think about people really being able to come in, feel great about what they're doing and seeing, and really enjoy that moment.
No doubt.
And I think that I love that. All right, Dr. J, now you're a veteran. You got it down. More to come. Looking forward to seeing all the content. Major FOMO. Got to shout out our girl, Daniela Rosa from Aya Golf, John's handler for the week.
Babysat me.
She did. She did. So, always good to have the friends there. Bring a friend when you go. It makes a world of difference. All right, y'all. We'll see you in the next one.
Peace.